Love the overall aesthetic of this board. It is quite the looker, I'd say. Personally, I think this is very, very pretty. This is the Velora TKL. Very, very pretty TKL from Kibu, by the way. I can say without a doubt, Kibu makes some, Kibu hosts some pretty cool keyboards on their website too. I like them as a vendor. This will have a few different options in how you can build it. I'm not quite sure all the different options you can get for the accent piece, but there's a lot of interesting things you can do to this board. Different prices depending on how you're gonna assemble it, but very, very cool. Front height of 17 mil, effective front height of 21, 2.3 kilos, which is pretty heavy, unbuilt. I don't know what color we got in today, but we'll take a look. Very pretty though. We'll open it up here in a second. Very excited for this particular board. Ooh, wait, this is kind of hot. I like this little badge system that's going on here. It is crazy. I know it says the front height. We just talked about that. It was like, what, 17 mil? But this is like incredible to look at. This is really low. The little red accent's kind of cool too. Oh, that is wait, that's kind of an aggressive side profile. I like that. Probably a little easier to see on the maybe like brighter units. Oh, that's interesting. It kind of kicks up a little bit too with the seam. I like what they did there. Oh, that's really interesting. So it comes down and then it shoots right back up. That's the seam, yeah. Whoa, that is an interesting seam. We have a PCB with some LEDs here. This is the solder PCB, so it looks like we have pretty standard fare options, which is a good thing. No multiple bottom rows though. This is going to be a top mount board. Top mount, we have some LEDs. Like I said, fixed bottom row, but it looks like we have support for ISO. Is that also on the plate? Let's see. We do have ISO support on this. Nice. Do those cuts do anything? Like these cuts over here? In a way, I don't know. Okay, I guess to look at the plate now in depth. So I don't know if it'll do much. I guess we'll have to figure that out in the long run here. But what it should have done is they should have put a relief cut underneath and then extended the whole like leaf spring out more. So this should have been on this instead of attached to the base plate. But I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. All right, so these are really interesting switches that we're using. School, what are these called again? You said the Cera switches? Nice and bright. Yeah, so they're modified palm stems with ceramic powder. Cool. So, okay, so some stuff I want to remark on here. I really like the cuts on the inside, these like internal ridges. Fantastic for bouncing sound around. We have an additional weight here. We have our daughter board. I like this too. This is kind of to give the some room for the screw heads to breathe. So this is nice. This is a good inclusion here. It does look like we also have these little, although I don't know if there should be more of these. These little force brake pads. Looks like there should be more, but I don't know if they're... Oh, they're just stuck to the top case over here. I wonder if another one fell off somewhere too then. Got some force brake pad looking things there too. Here it is, right there. And to show you guys that up close, yeah, I got them all, Sakula. So it looks like we do have some integrated, and what I really like about this is they're not completely flush with the case like most other designers make by accident. These are not flush with the case. You can see they have a bit of a height there. So these actually should help a little bit more. It seems like a softer silicone, which is ideal for when you're doing force brake stuff. So this should give us the separation we need from the top and the bottom frame. That looks like a really good placement of that. This just slots into this, I guess. Oh, that's neat. I thought this was a piece of foam. It's actually like a piece of plastic. Cool. I like the mounting points too. Nothing too close to the space bar there. This TKL is soon. The actual dates of this TKL are September 26th to October 10th, I think. So cool. Is it up now, or is that just the page, the buy page you put up? Is it unlimited? It said unlimited. I don't know if that's changed at all, but it said unlimited GB. Case will include your case, weight, badge. If not, the badge will not be there if you get a blank top one. It has the Toblerone accents. You can get different plates if you want. A Velora PCB, your foam, force brake pads, which are those things I showed you guys, rubber feet, a pouch plus hard carrying case. And it says a themed desk pad, but I have no idea what that is, which is kind of a cool thing to add in. I don't know if that's still a thing they're giving for the group buy here, but that's cool. Do you think Red Line would look good with a silver board? I think so. Silver literally would work with anything. It does look good with the red. I think it was the right call for Red Line. Let's see what this sounds like. So apparently the only thing that might be different and might cause the keyboard to sound very different is this keyboard will have a different plate design, which I think will be very impactful for how this will sound. So I will say this right now. I love the way these switches feel. The spring is really nice in these switches. Very classic top mount sound. Yeah, I almost forgot I put foam in this. You're right, I did put foam in between this. It does not sound like foam. I will say, I do wish the spacebar was a little brighter. I might chalk it up to these switches though. The force brake is doing a really good job. I think the board is extremely gorgeous. This thing is a very pretty board. I think now looking at it, never mind. I'm actually still sold on this badge on the top here. Love the overall aesthetic of this board. It is quite the looker, I'd say. Personally, I think this is very, very pretty. Extremely pretty. I don't think I'd go with black and red here personally. I'd probably go with like the silver or the coffee color. I think the price point is very fair for what you're getting here. The only thing I would probably change, and this is a bit more difficult to tell you guys yes or no to, or is it good? I think the plate needs to be changed. Obviously it already is. Sakula said that they're doing a better job on the relief cuts. My issue with the relief cuts, just to reiterate, is the relief cuts literally don't do much here. Like there may be some argument in the current iteration is they can extend some of the vibrations to left and right, but it does end up making the keyboard a little stiffer feeling. Again, it's a top mount though, kind of to be expected. Overall though, I actually think the sound of the board is very classic top mount. If it sold just like this, I would still be extremely happy with it. Like, I don't think I'd be upset at all. It's super comfortable to type on with its really low front height, which is a huge selling point as well. But yeah, it's quite nice. I would love to see how the new plate sounds on this though. I think changing the plate and having the relief cuts be a little bit more relief cutty, I think would open up the sound very slightly, but in a good way. Again, if this sold as is, which is kind of the way we have to look at this right now, at $385, I would be extremely happy with this. I would be indeed extremely happy. Again, if you like top mount, you're probably gonna like the way this sounds overall. So I think this might even sound even better with something like cherry switches, to be completely honest with you guys. It might even sound better with cherry switches. So, interesting switch though, by the way. These Cera switches, very interesting. Kibu relief top always sound good, so I believe. Yeah, and that's the thing with Kibu. Kibu has a lot of experience selling and vendoring boards with solid top mount designs. So I don't really have any doubt in my mind that they will have a bad sounding top mount here. Like I said, in its current iteration, I think the board sounds really good. I have no quarrels with it. First of all, I like Kibu stuff a lot. And by the way, this is not my board. Kibu stuff is usually pretty expensive. I'm happy that this one here wasn't following suit, because Kibu stuff can get pricey really quickly. And I will usually say, for good reason, they make really good boards. They're always good quality. Every person I've ever talked to who's had experiences, Kibu has always been extremely, extremely happy with the products. $385 is a pretty good deal for this one. I'd say it's a pretty solid deal for this, so. Thank you again for Sakula and Kibu for sending this out for me to try today. I'll take some very nice photos. Very happy with it, very pleasantly surprised.